Remember when I did a crochet kit review for Stitch and Scrump? And I got really annoyed with it. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. Because the pattern was inconsistent, there were errors, and I ended up giving up on finishing Stitch. And I said, no more kits. But I did another kit. So I already finished it like a while ago. Like I did the kit like at the end of the summer last year now. But I made another plushie using the same crochet kit for myself to keep, hence the video. So in the summer, I think since maybe like late spring even, we've been planning a family vacation trip, but it was also a surprise trip for my mother-in-law. So she, I guess that I didn't know this about her, but I guess she is a big Dolly Parton fan. And so her husband, my father-in-law, wanted to surprise her and take her to Dollywood. I didn't even know what Dollywood was, so I had to like look it up and, but anyway, so at that point we had been planning for, this trip secretively. And one day my family, my husband, my daughter and I, we were shopping at a Michael's store and we very randomly came across this crochet kit for making a Dolly Parton plushie. And so my husband asked me if I would mind making the plushie and we can use it when we reveal the surprise to his mom. So I was like, yeah, definitely, let's do it. So we got the crochet kit. I got to work. Over Labor Day weekend, it's kind of like an annual thing. We go to this big fair in Ohio and we kind of camp there for the duration of the festival. Well, at least for as long as we can. But yeah, so we use that occasion to reveal the surprise to his mom about the trip. So I will go ahead and reveal the original version of the plushie. So here it is. And I noticed that whenever I try to show something close up on this camera, on the videos, it doesn't really focus right, so can't really see the little details and stuff. But I am going to post pictures of this on my Instagram, so you can head over there to see some better, like clearer pictures. But yeah, this is the little Dolly Parton I made. I asked my mother-in-law if I can borrow this so I can use it in this video, but I actually love how this turned out. Oh, and I threw away the box. Like I don't have the original packaging anymore, so I'm gonna find pictures online and put it up here for you. But this is the booklet that came in the box. This is the pattern. So it says unofficial Dolly Parton crochet. One of the few complaints I have about this crochet kit was her hair color. Because Dolly Parton has like the super light blonde hair. Kind of like in this picture. But when I opened the crochet kit, the yarn color wasn't like a blonde color at all. It's more like a beigey color. And going back to this pattern, I did remember there being at least one error where I had to kind of like improvise and, make the changes on my own. And there was like once or twice, there were times where I had to like reread the pattern multiple times because either the wording was off or maybe it was the way I was understand. But it was hard. I thought it was hard to understand. But overall, I think the end product is pretty cute. All in all, this was a lot easier to complete than the Stitch one. Like I said, I wanted to make another one of these as like a keepsake for us but I didn't know if there'd be enough yarn that was in the kit to make a second one. So I decided to use what I had, and also decided to use chenille yarn and make it a little bigger. So that's what I did. I ended up not making the guitar because so with the Dolly Parton doll itself, you finish with the hair, and the hair with the plush yarn and like the sewing and like the pinning and with all the loose hair strands, it got a little crazy. So I ended up just doing the Dolly Parton plushie itself, and so anyway, yeah, skip the guitar for the chenille one. So there was one error immediately upon starting the pattern, because the pattern starts with it starts out with her arms. Basically, it doesn't talk about like a color change. So here it starts with like the skin color of her hand, and then it switches into the shirt color, but there was no mention of a color change in the pattern for the arms. So like I just improvised and did like 2 rounds in the skin color, and then did a color change to the shirt color. Other than that, I didn't come across any other errors that I can think of. All right, so I just finished sewing all her hair strands down. And then I noticed her head is like too heavy for the body, and it's just like super floppy. So I'm gonna need to fix that somehow. But I don't know what to do here. I might try to put some more stuffing in there, just in the neck area. I did not have this issue with the acrylic yarn. I think because it's lighter weight yarn, and also crocheting with the acrylic yarn does make the product a bit stiffer. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this out, because this is not gonna this won't do. So I first tried to fix it by putting more stuffing in just the neck area, but it turned out to be impossible to do because the neck of the plushie itself is so tiny. I couldn't put any stuffing in there. So I tried grabbing more of the skin color yarn I used, and basically kind of whip stitched around the whole row of the neck, hoping it would make it a little stronger and more durable. In the end, it did kind of work. The head is still a little wobbly, but it is a lot better than what it was before. The hardest part of making this doll again, except with plush yarn, was the hair. Working with all the hair strands on the smaller plush, it really wasn't that hard, because it being like acrylic yarn, it does tend to be a bit stiffer. So it wasn't really that hard to like contain and control. But with the chenille yarn, the hair was going everywhere and it was crazy, and they wouldn't even stay pinned down. So I don't think her hair looks as great on the bigger plush, but it still looks okay. Now the reveal of the finished plush of Dolly Parton. Yeah, her hair is, I'm not liking her hair as much on this plush, but it's okay. My experience with this kit wasn't as bad. Maybe I'll give more crochet kits a try. If you've done a kit before and there's one you recommend, let me know. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I was super happy with this Dolly Parton doll, and was so excited to give this to my mother-in-law when we did the trip reveal. So, and she really loved this one. And again, I'll post more like better pictures of the plushies on my Instagram, so you can go check that out. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!